You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Nine, eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. It is Tuesday, October the 1st. Yes, we are already into October. Can you believe it? Summer's come and went, and the leaves are changing on the trees. The cold weather is upon us, just at the doorstep. Changes all around us, and heading into an American election in just over a month, and all kinds of changes going on around us, near and far. We're on the brink of all-out land invasion in the Middle East. So once it goes to that, it's no looking back for a while, and who knows what that can end up being. It's an interesting time we live in. So let's try and make sense a little bit of the world we live in, locally and abroad, if we can. That's the reason for Sudbury News. We basically take news and discuss it on Sudbury News Talk each and every weekday morning, live on the air, whether it's on the radio or on streaming on the internet. So we're coming at you every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30. Live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio, and streaming at cklu.ca in audio. Click on the Radio Player Canada app, stream us, download it, take us with you, and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. Also, streaming live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel and the page. And mainly comment. We'll do our best to get the comments up on the screen for those watching, and for those listening, read if possible. So we'll do our best to read their comments, and then we'll have to get on with the show. If I don't get to your comments, it's not that I've done that on purpose. It's just that we're trying to host and deal with all the technology. As you saw this morning, got off to a little bit of a discombobulated start. It's just one piece of equipment that has something to do differently each morning, and that's all it takes. And anyways, it's a miracle that we're on. It's a miracle that you're here. It's a miracle that we're doing this show, and we're grateful for all the technology and the platforms that we have, and we're thankful for you. This is your show on your station, CKLU 96.7 FM. We're also on demand after the show at YouTube and Facebook. We're also on x.com/Sudbury News or twitter.com/Sudbury News, and Sudbury.news, which is our local news aggregator, which aggregates all the local news into one convenient location, because you can't share news anymore on Facebook, the most widely used social media platform in the world. Our government has made it impossible. Now, for what reason? They give us a reason, but the result is you can't share news, which is, you You can even share news in communist countries on Facebook, but you can't in Canada. So that tells you something. Anyways, we're also we're going to be covering some, a little follow up from our discussion on Truth and Reconciliation yesterday. And thanks to Belinda, I believe, for sharing a video that I got from her, and then right away the actual video from the newsletter came in as I was watching the video, and I thought, you know what, this might be good as a follow-up if we can have time for it on the show. And we'll be talking about, checking in with Sudbury.com's headlines of the day, checking out the stories that aggregate on Sudbury.news. There's lots to talk about today. And without further ado, let's just jump right in. We'll start off with some weather, and then we'll be back with your comments, news headlines, and more right after this. And Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, it is 12 degrees out there. There's some fog. And today, you can expect it to be cloudy with some showers beginning near noon. Risk of thunderstorm in the afternoon. The fog patches will be dissipating this morning, and the wind will be gusting up to 50 this afternoon. The high of 20. Temperature falling to 15 this afternoon. Humidex 25 before that happens. Tonight, showers ending this evening, then partly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers. Fog patches developing again overnight, low of +3. Wednesday, tomorrow, mainly sunny with fog patches dissipating in the morning, high of 16. So it will be mainly sunny. So the forecast we were talking about yesterday was just all clouds all week with no sun. Now we got mainly sunny tomorrow with a high of 16. Thursday, sunny with a high of 20. Friday, a 30% chance of showers with a high of 16, and then mix of sun and cloud on Saturday, high of 15. Cloudy and 12 on Sunday, and 10 and a mix of sun and cloud on Monday. Look at your satellite. You can see that system coming in. It's a pretty clear system moving from the west to the east. It's basically a front, and with it, you got some precipitation in there, as you can see visually for those listening on the radio. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and more right after this. All right, and we are back, and you're with us. Thanks for being with us this morning. Got a little group started already. Let's do some morning check-ins, and we'll get on with the news headlines of the day and the stories we're going to be covering from Sudbury and abroad. Sorry, okay. Oh, I thought we weren't going to have our comments working this morning. It happens every once in a while where the comment section isn't working. Looks like YouTube may not be working for comments, but it is what it is. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning, everyone from Barrie. Liked and shared as usual. Good morning, Marianne, and thanks for being on each and every morning. We really appreciate you, along with Vin. Good morning to you as well, Vin. And Minnie, good morning, Sudbury, with is that a sunshine emoji? Oh, a smiley emoji, yep. Tomorrow will be the sunshine, apparently, and Thursday. Pat, good morning, everyone. Smiley emoji, much appreciated. Denise, good morning, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. Along with Judy here with us this morning on Facebook. Good morning. And Belinda, positive statement of the day as usual. Good morning. We cannot force someone to hear a message they are not ready to receive, but we must never underestimate the power of planting a seed. Thank you for that. That's so true. I mean, you can't change others. You can only change yourself, and you can only do what you can. And others have the responsibility of doing things themselves. If you want to influence people for good, first of all, be good yourself and be that example to those around you. And in doing that, you could probably influence people the most by being an example. The odd time, mentioning something, maybe, saying, this is why I do what I do, and and on this show, basically all I can do is talk, but talking is the least form of persuasion in many ways, in terms of your influence in your life. Your actual example is the most influence you're going to have on other people. So do what you say, first of all. If you believe strongly in things, just do it and live it. And if you want to make an influence in a positive way on other people's lives, do it yourself and make sure. I always laugh at the example of my parents and love them. However, while they're smoking, as I'm a youngster, telling me never start smoking is probably not the best way of influencing your children. But I was able to kick the habit early enough on in my life. So I'm at least grateful that it didn't stick around forever. And at least my father was able to kick it as well at some point in his life. And, but anyways, yeah. So sometimes all you can do is plant a seed, just make a suggestion, just be yourself and other people will see it. You're planting seeds through your actions. And, yeah, we need more positive influences in the world. So if someone isn't going to hear your message, you can't force it, but it may be planting a seed with someone else. You also go on to say, Belinda, I heard that the ports closing down might not be related to a strike, but because many countries that are gold-backed standard now will not accept U.S. currency. Something to think about. Yes. So the ports being closed, that's something that I just read this morning. So that's interesting. Maybe that'll come up in our news headlines. Huge stuff, by the way. Huge implications with that. Again, it's all about supply chain, right? Cutting off the supply chain somehow. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for being on. Hope you're having a great morning. And Marianne, listening in while I make breakfast for my Sil and Bill. Oh, ever cool. Well, hopefully you have a great breakfast, and breakfast is sometimes the most important meal of the day, they say. However, I do something called intermittent fasting, so I'll wait till about 10 o'clock to eat first meal of the day, and then I'm done eating by about 2 in the afternoon. And that way it allows my body to kind of reboot, rejuvenate. And it's something that's been working for me. And I don't do it every single day. However, I do it regularly enough because there's, on a Thanksgiving meal where I'm getting together with my family and friends, I'm not going to say, well, I'm not eating with you guys. So I'll, whenever there's a special occasion, I'll eat whenever. I'll eat whatever too. And sometimes I'll eat more than whatever on those occasions. And people are like, yeah, he says he fasts every day, but it doesn't look like he's fasting today. But yeah, I'll make sure I get more than my share on those occasions. And it's something I look forward to. But yeah, no, that's something that I found it serves me well. And I really appreciate it. If you haven't tried it, you let your body kind of fast a little bit in the morning, and then you break the fast, which is the word break fast. A little later, so you allow your body to eat up whatever your body's got on it that your body can eat, and it helps in losing weight and keeping healthier. And then you eat. You can almost, after a while, eat anything you want in between those hours of 10 and 2. And people do intermittent fasting different ways. Your body goes into ketosis, I think, after 15 hours or so, average of not eating. I do drink water during that time. It's not like I go without fluids. So I do drink water, but I don't eat anything. And so, yeah, no. So all that because you're making breakfast this morning. And I do still get hungry, though, if I see people eating or whatever. I go, yeah, well, I could probably eat right now, but I'm just going to hold off and wait till my time. And, but by and large, other than those commercials they play late at night, those Burger King commercials, pizza commercials, you name it. They play them like late at night. I go, wow, I could probably wolf down a whole pizza right now. But you just go to bed, you forget about it, you wake up and you're actually not hungry in the morning. At least through my experience, everybody's different. You have to take that into account. Everybody's different. Our bodies are all different. You got to do what's right for you. Good morning, Debbie. Thanks for being on. Smiley emoji. Hope you're having a great morning. Marianne, they're trying to drop the U.S. dollar and bring in a U.S. currency. We've all known that. We know that they're at whatever stage of that. That's the end goal, to bring in a digital currency and also to tank the U.S. dollar as well, as it is accepted as the global currency. And in order to bring in a new order of things, a new currency, they have to take care of the United States first. And in doing that, then, they can bring in their new system of things. So it's all part of the plan. The World Economic Forum speaks publicly about it all the time. That also calling for a cyber attack soon. That's right from the mouth of Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum. So look for a cyber attack. Look for economies to be pummeled, especially the U.S. economy. And they're just look at the hurricane here. There's some nefarious things going on there as well. And what things are by design, what things are just by accident, it's hard to tell sometimes. But it all has the same end result, right? So Shirley, good morning to you. Good morning all, with a bunch of emojis. Much appreciated. And Andrew, thanks for checking in. Enjoy the show for sure. You as well, Andrew. Marianne says, sister-in-law and brother-in-law. Got it. Yeah, got to get with the acronyms these days. Okay, so Nana on YouTube, there you go. Chat is up now. So good morning and blessings to everyone. So it is true. I thought there might be an issue with the YouTube chat. So there was, and you're here. So good morning, Nana. And Mona, good morning to you as well. As we get our Facebook monitor up and running here, so I can monitor who's on, or at least the number of people. And this is Belinda. I heard that Trudeau is looking for his next gig for a position in the UN. Well, didn't we know this as well? He's looking for something on the world stage. He's been kind of campaigning for a long time with his initiatives that he institutes in our country. It's global initiatives, right? Comes right from these global organizations, the WEF, the WHO, the UN. That's pretty much this whole Build Back Better phrase didn't come from Bill or Joe Biden. It came from, global leaders. And you heard multiple global leaders mentioning that as their slogans. It didn't come from them, so you can just tell where they're getting their marching orders from. As we do move into a global world, we're going into a global society. Borders are being erased. Sovereignty is going the way of the dodo. So we are going into a global society. How that's shaping up? Are there virtuous people behind all of that? I have to argue it's possibly not the case. And but we're going there nonetheless. Evelyn, good morning to you as well. I'm late again. Don't worry about it. Better late than never. We're just checking in on our headlines from Sudbury.news to get started with some of these local news headlines. Delta Bingo and Gaming shares 1.2 million in Greater Sudbury. The latest quarter share from Delta Bingo and Games contribution from June to August brings the 12-month total to $4.4 million. So I guess they're mandated through the lottery or the gaming commission, whatever its official title is these days, to contribute so much to the local economy, and that's where that comes from. Yes, Mr. Team Barbie will surely make an impact. That's Belinda. And then Marianne says, yes, he's trying to be number one. This is about Trudeau. The head with the head dudes, LOL. Honestly, I think him learning to tie his shoes is too much for him. That's Trudeau. And I think he's smarter than we give him credit for. It's just that we're seeing him doing the bidding for someone else and trying to pull one over on other people. You see him lying. He wouldn't be the first politician to do that. And so we think that's incompetence, but they're actually competent. Just they're lying to you all the time. And so it looks like they don't know what they're doing. But they know full well what they're doing, and they know full well who they're getting their orders from. Evelyn says Poland isn't erasing their border. We should follow their suit. For sure, I think it's we're moving into a global society. I think it's inevitable. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Inevitable. How it shapes up, I think it's going global. It's going full on totalitarian, with a few people, controlling the narrative, the governments of the global elites, with the corporations. Whoever can be there on their payroll, whoever's in power who can be on their payroll will just move this thing forward. But it's going to come crashing down fast because, first of all, it's predicted to do that. Second of all, it just makes sense that, every power that we've ever had on this planet has always risen and fallen. We have not had a power that's stuck with us forever. We've seen the rise and fall of many powers over time. If you study history, they always rise and fall. This particular one's going to rise and fall quicker than we've seen a lot of world powers, however. And we can have confidence in that. But again, it comes back to what Linda was talking about, sharing a message, planting seeds of you can only control what is in your sphere of control. There's a lot of worldwide things going on that people in positions of power are going to do what they're going to do. They're accountable for that, whether they like it or not. And they will have to have a reckoning for that. It will affect us. It will have an effect on us. But ultimately, you can only control your sphere of influence. So I can only control what I can control in my own personal life, and I have a hard time doing that a lot of times. My worst enemy is myself. And so as I work on my own things and try to defeat, and I'm involved in my own battles, personal battles, in my own head, my heart, trying to be the best person I possibly can be. It's the only thing I've come to realize that I can control. And even, like I said, even that is hard to do, let alone control a neighborhood, a household, a neighborhood, a city, a region, a province, a country, a continent, a world. So we're going to be going through certain things that are already in the planning and will be carried out by the powers that be. And we'll have to find the best ways we can to navigate those in our own personal lives and our own communities. And the best way to do that is be the best person you can, draw upon powers higher than yourself and get through it that way. Jagmeet cannot call an election because the NDP party is completely broke. That's Belinda. Marianne says he has people behind him that are smart. He is a puppet on a string, and that's Trudeau you're referring to, Marianne, I believe. Big documentary on YouTube about it. That's Evelyn. Not sure exactly which subject because I've kind of crossed a few subjects there, but if you wanted to share the name of the documentary you're referring to, that'd be awesome. Just put it in the comments. Evelyn, appreciate it. Vin, I don't believe it's inevitable. Okay, cool. One can maintain their own house without the permission of their neighbor and still inevitably, there's that word, not step out of their neighbor's feet. Step on their neighbor's feet. Okay, so yes, you can control your own sphere, your own household, your own, but let's say someone bombed your house, like you don't control someone else, someone else's actions, and it can affect you. Now you can still control your house after it's been bombed, right? You can pick up the pieces, maybe try and build the house again, stuff like that. But that's all I'm saying is you couldn't control the fact that an army comes into your sphere of things and takes actions against you, let's say. If you're in a war-torn country, other people's decisions affect you. You can't help that. Like we've lived in such a peaceful situation for so long, we can't even conceptualize certain things happening. But if your economy collapses and there's no food in the grocery stores, and let's say a bioweapons lab has been wiped out by a hurricane and there's something on the loose everywhere and everyone's affected by it, it totally changes the dynamic of what we're talking about in terms of what you can control and what you can't control, right? Like if you live in a totally organized world, which we're used to living in, or mainly organized one, then it's a little different of a conversation. You can get a microphone, you can make a speech, you can influence people, get a podcast, become like an Oprah Winfrey in terms of your influence and influence a lot of people. But when things collapse, let's say economies collapse, societies, structure, whole systems collapse, there's a whole different world now. Like you can only control your thoughts in a way. I oftentimes think of people in concentration camps, various concentration camps. They don't have to be from one particular time in history that most people's minds go to when we think of that. But a lot of people in concentration camps, that's what they talk about. They were free only in their own minds. Everything else was taken away. Every freedom they had was taken away other than their thoughts. That's the only thing that they had control over. Or not, right? They would still fight that battle in their own minds. And I think it's time we start developing structures in our minds to prepare ourselves for what is possible. I've always thought that, even when it didn't look like anything was around the corner and we were in a 100% peaceful environment, I always thought, what if I was to go to the grocery store one day and there was no food there? What would I do? How would society be? Because why do I just think it's my right to have food in a grocery store? Like, what did I do to make that possible? Like, you know what I mean? Why is that just a whole? Why am I entitled to just get in my car, turn a key, go where there's more food than a whole city can eat, kind of thing, on any given day? Why is that my right? What did I do for that? Nothing. I just happen to live in a place that's blessed to be like that. And many people were involved in making that happen over time. And I think we've lost a sense of the gratitude that gives us the safety of laws, of order, of the being so blessed with abundance that we have. And we've seen that being chipped away at for so many years that we can't just come to think that that's going to be there forever. Because what makes it there forever? Like, who said it has to be like that forever? Honestly, it's something to just think about. just, I'm planting a seed, if you will, to go along with Belinda's statement today. I know it's not a great thought, however, a possibility, one to think about. So the bloc, so this is Marianne, and the bloc should not even be sitting in Parliament since they are not a federal party and have not signed the Charter of Rights. Yeah, I've always thought that's an interesting one. The party that our taxes pay for, that basically are there with every intention of separating from the very country that they're sitting there governing. It's just odd. Vin, Marianne, so I'd prefer to see Anishinaabeg representation in the House of Commons. I would as well. Marianne agrees. I think that's happening, to keep in line with to jump off of our conversation yesterday with Truth and Reconciliation. We are seeing the rise of Indigenous people. They're coming back to a knowledge of their ancestors and getting more connected with the teachings that their ancestors had. And they come from a good place. They really do. I read a record that comes from their people each and every day. And it's one that many of their people aren't even aware of, that connects them back to their origins of where they got these teachings from in the first place. And, the world will know more about it in a short period of time. So stay tuned for that. As you see the peoples themselves, you can just tell, you can just sense something's going on. And they will be, as they rise and as more people unite with more of their way of life, a more holistic way of life, you'll see more of a grassroots system of things through their lenses of the world. And as they even kind of